everybody, and welcome back to my opera channel, and to my guest. Do we look alike? This is my sister, Mayan. Why are you here?
I am here because we're going to talk about dyslexia.
And our different versions of dyslexia that we do not share. We both have dyslexia, but each of our dyslexias has affected us extremely differently. Mayan, when did you discover your dyslexia?
I was like 6 or 7, maybe 8, but not that much. Yeah, it was really first grade, second grade. They already knew I had dyslexia. Like they knew I had something, and when I was tested, it was like obvious that I had something.
And then you went through school until you got to age 15 in a regular school?
Yeah, till 9th grade, and then I was in a normal school system and everything, and then I moved to a special ed school.
And you were the second class of that school?
Yeah, it was a really new school, and there weren't so many schools in general in Israel that were special ed, so like pretty much in the beginning.
Whereas for me, I discovered that I was dyslexic when I was 15, and then I stayed in a regular school system, but I didn't have any teachers that could teach me how to deal with my dyslexia. And I had to learn it all by myself, which was
fun.
But it was a lot easier to diagnose your dyslexia because you have a very special gift.
I do. I overcame it. My handwriting was very, backwards.
When Mayan would write back from camp or would write any note down, it would be like,
what did she say? My handwriting was backwards, but not only B's and D's, it was more almost all the alphabet, except for some specific letters. So half of the word you could read with a mirror, and the other half you would have to read normally. And I had bad spelling. Now my spelling's much better because I think I use my memory kind of to remember how to spell a certain word, and that's just stuck with me. And reading, awful.
See, I think it's very entertaining the way I read. There's there's a story. I had to read a school summary that was sent, and I started to laugh really, really hard because I read the sentence when they released their love, and I was like, ah, and I called over a friend of mine. I was like, look, they released their love. It's really funny. And he goes, it says realized their love. And I was like, oh, I like my version better. I can't see the words properly to read them properly.
Yeah, for me, if I look at a page, if someone asks me, just read, look at this page, what do you see? It looks like soup. It's just a bunch of, it doesn't...
Do you get tired while reading? You don't like to read either.
Yeah, I'm 21 years old and I've read 2 books in my entire life.
I read as much as I can. It just takes me forever. But I love to read.
So I really try.
Love to read.
No, I try. But
you try.
I'm in the middle of a book for the past year. But I'm still working on finishing it.
I've always been an avid reader. When I was in elementary school, I didn't like to read, but I would also read more in Hebrew then. We're both bilingual also, with 2 languages that are completely opposite from each other, which does not help people with dyslexia.
If you think about English, it's you write from left to right. In Hebrew, you write from right to left.
And they're both different alphabets, and the grammatical structure of the languages are extremely different.
Everything.
So when you were because you went to special ed school, you had an education that was based around something that would fit you. They knew how to teach you. So then how did you take tests in school?
Well,
because I didn't go to school like this. I went to regular school. And yeah. Interesting. We'll talk about you first.
Well, my tests were very interesting because, for me, I would get to a test and I'd be they would ask the question, I'd be once I understood what the question was asking, I'd have it in my brain, okay, I know the answer, it's here, I can say it, I see the answer, I can even see the answer in my brain. It was I see it, but I can't grab it, I can't take it off of the shelf, I can't bring it to somewhere where I can answer a question out loud. So that was really hard for me. I had someone sit with me in the test, basically. And most of my school was like this, so it didn't really feel different.
Normal, yeah,
it was totally normal. But I had a tester who sat with me in the test and would read the questions out to me. And then I would answer them, the questions.
For me, because I went to regular school, I did have the examiner come and ask me questions, and then I would have to repeat the answers verbally to them. Maybe it's an oral test as well?
Yeah, it's an oral test.
And then I would have to sit the entire exam session and wait. I had extra time too, which made no sense because they had extra time because there was no one there. And then I would have to then read out the points that I said to him, but like make a story out of it. Like I would have to make an answer out of it. Yeah, that's how I would get my test. But I would also have to wait for everyone to leave. And because in the high school that I went to, or in every high school in Israel, you have a matriculation exam, and once you're done with that exam, you don't see that subject again, and everyone goes out to party after the exam, so then, like, everyone would be out, and I was sitting here waiting
to be examined.
To be examined, and it was just,
I would never survive that.
But my grades, once I actually got that, went up from, like, 50s and 60s, from, like, scraping up to pass, to, like,
90s and 100, yeah, for sure. And, like, for me also, like...
the amount of knowledge that I can retain... Like, I know things that are not useful. Like, we went to a museum the other day, and oh, so annoying. The woman kept asking, like, oh, where was this person born? I was like, Budapest! What year? 1860!
And everyone was like, what is up with this person? Like, why does she know this stuff?
Where was this form signed? It was signed in Basel! I was like, oh, okay. Shut up, crazy lady.
If you can guess who that was.
Comment down below.
But also, for me, we even learned, like in the school, because we learned techniques on how to deal with disabilities, like it was really helpful. Like, so in a test, which
you then implemented later on.
So I was in a medics course after high school, and it was not special ed. There was no extra help. There was no one. Everyone who was training me was like maybe a year or two older than me, or even my age. So
no one had formal education in education.
Exactly. So that was like, okay, you're on your own here. Good luck. So I did not think I was going to survive that. I had like 6 tests a week. So it was really intense. And it was like 3 months of 5 or 6 tests a week. So let's say something I learned in high school was in questions that you're asked, each category of the question should be highlighted in a different color. So let's say like the question word would be in orange. The examples would be in green, and let's say if you have to take a quote from something, then you would just do it in blue. What I would do is just write the entire course, like all of the stuff I would hear in class, even if it was like a word that I heard that like would make me remember, I would write it down, everything. And then after the classes, I would sit down and just rewrite everything till I remembered it.
I would copy down the summaries
for sure
Like, I love classes where there's a slideshow and the teacher talks, and then you can like take down the notes that the teacher says, and then later, like a psychopath, I would go download the
slideshow.
The slideshow.
Oh, for sure.
And then color coordinate the slideshow along with the color coordination that I had made with the notes that he had said in class.
Yeah.
So then you would get these like colorful notebooks, all the facts and all the things, and like everything's in blue and green and gray and purple, and then highlighted in certain areas, and then the dates are in red, and the examples.
Oh yeah, the dates was always like
So yeah, and then I would help other people study, but they would get better grades than I did, because obviously.
And that would actually help me to talk about the stuff. But
exactly, it helps you teach them.
Exactly, but it was like but also it's funny because like when I would remember dates really well, but I would sometimes not really remember what the dates were for.
Oh no, I always remembered what the dates.
So like sometimes
I create a story like what happened in 1637, and then in 1637 the Venice Opera House was built. What is the Venice Opera House? The Venice Opera House is actually the first opera house that was ever created. Oh, where was it created? In Venice. Oh, what year? 1637. Oh, what happened through 1637? And then you like...
It's like, oh, I didn't do that. For me, I would like kind of, or make up like a song or a dance. I'd be like, that and that and that. I remember like I had a test where like I couldn't, it was like half an hour and I just didn't know anything. Like I was sitting there, I was like, and it was a subject that I knew really well. Like it was a subject that I was confident in and everything. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know. And I was getting stressed out just from like sitting there. The person who sat with me in the test, she said, go out, get a drink, and come back. I like get up, I start standing up, and I start remembering things. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I start, so like this is like a 4-hour test that I just babbled everything I knew. And I'm like writing on the board, and I'm drawing pictures and this, and then I'm like, this is that, and that goes to that. And then like I have like arrows going there and there, and I felt like, there's my test. Like I was like, just send a picture of the board.
What are the positive things? Like, what do you think you take in positively from being your form of dyslexic?
Well, for sure, not giving up. I learned to fight through my difficulties if I have to really go into like the subject, and I have to like, take every single, like operate it to like the deepest parts
under like a severe microscope.
Yes, until I can give up on it. Like that's, and even being just like the whole creative side of it.
So then now you use that, like My aunt also makes cakes. My aunt, like, makes really amazing cakes, and, like, your creativity on how to build those cakes is always phenomenal to me.
I love doing it. Yeah, I mean...
And cooking. Like,
but yeah, I love cooking in general. That's what happened, like, when I was younger, like, my friends would go do homework, and I would be at home making up recipes and just doing random things in the kitchen. And, like, let's say yesterday, like, everyone was, like, we had a bunch of, like, vegetables, and no one knew what to do with them. So, like, we made, like, this vegetarian shepherd's pie, and everyone's like, do you need a recipe? Do you need this? I'm like, no. I'll figure it out. I don't know.
Okay.
Or, like, I used to build these computers out of anything in the house. Like, I used to, like, take, like, a cardboard box and like, find, like, a random... Like, I used to just build things, so...
My retention. It takes me longer to learn things, but I never forget them.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Like, it'll take me a really long time to absorb something, but once it's in there, it ain't going anywhere. It's there.
It's there.
And, it taught me to, like, take my time. And I get very aggravated with that still, but, like, sometimes I just really need to remind myself, like, take a breath, it's gonna be okay. It might not be right now, and I think that's also been good, like, because my career has taken so long, like, because just, like, I'm still in school, and, like, everything takes really long, and I get very aggravated at it. I just want to be done, but then I remember that, like, at the end of the day, it might take me longer now, but it'll last forever.
That's also something that, like...
And I'm also very creative.
Right.
And I've learned how to, like, solve problems because of
that too. Like, even, like, so I had backwards handwriting, right? And when I was older, I, like, figured out how to just teach my...
beautiful help of beautiful friends.
Oh, for sure, yes. But, like, I knew how to fix it. I just couldn't do it on my own. So I took, like, 2 friends and in each language, and we just figured it out, and I did it, and it took not a long time at all, but it was just something I had to do with someone who could sit and just tell me what I was doing wrong or whatever, anything, and that's really, you know, and anything I did, even the medics course or anything, like, I never thought I could do this stuff. Like, people always, like, I always feel like I lose, you know, you lose a lot of confidence because people are always telling you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, you can. So...
You can. You heard it here. That's all, folks. Thank you so much for watching. All of Mayan's links will be down below, so go follow her on Mayan's Munchies, which is delicious. Yeah, in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you can be notified when I make a new video, and share with us your dyslexia stories. If you have dyslexia, or if you have dyslexia, I can't pronounce it anymore.
Dyslexia.
And if not, just, what did you think? Anyway. All the best. Have a great week. Don't forget to drink lots and lots of tea. And
go see an opera.
Go see an opera. And use the hashtag Diva Studies. And we will find each other. And we will, connect through opera and dyslexia and life.
And love. And yeah.
Alright. We're going. Okay. Bye.
Bye.